Hello, my dear students. So, this session will be now the question answer discussion session of the economic geography chapter. Okay, so this will be your unit number 3, economic geography, and this what the economic occupations or the activities of the people. Is it clear? So here are some of the very important questions, all of you just note it down. And though I told you that this session is quite a discussion session of the question answers, but already I have sent you the some of the very important questions from the previous chapters in the PDF format. Already I have sent you in our WhatsApp group. All of you just note it down, and now take the some of the very important questions. So write down, what is meant by occupation, how many types of occupations are found, discuss with example. Okay, what is meant by occupation, question mark, how many types of occupations are found, question mark, discuss with examples. Is it clear? So here you have to mention all the types of occupations. Yes, already what we have discussed in our visual class, that were primary occupation, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, quinary, all this. Yes, so this will be the answer. First you have to write some kind of that what is the meaning of occupation, then you have to elaborate it, and further you have to classify these types of occupations or economic activities. Is it clear? So next question, write down, what do you mean by primary occupation, how many types of primary occupations are there, discuss with examples. Is it clear? So what is primary occupations, how many types of primary occupations are there, discuss with examples. So here the answer will be, suppose collection of food and hunting, fishing. Okay, primary occupations, that means what, directly related with nature. And the various types of primary occupations are what, collection of food, hunting, fishing, animal rearing, lumbering, mining, okay, agriculture, yes, or farming. So these are some of the very important primary occupations, and basically the most important one is what in the present day scenario, it is the agricultural or the farming type of primary occupation. Yes. So next question, write down, differentiate between the primary occupation and secondary occupation with suitable examples. Is it clear? So this question will be, differentiate between the primary occupation and secondary occupation with suitable examples. So you have to write it, the definitions of the primary and the secondary. You have to differentiate between the primary and the secondary occupations with suitable examples, but don't ever forget to write down the examples, because these examples are quite very essential. Is it clear? Okay, fine. So next question, write down, what do you mean by quaternary occupation? Explain the differences between tertiary and quaternary occupations with suitable examples. So write down now, what do you mean by quaternary occupation? Explain the differences between quaternary and tertiary occupations with suitable examples. So again, this will be on the same method. You have to write down the differences between the tertiary and the quaternary occupations, and again you have to write down the suitable examples also. Is it clear? Already I have given you in our visual class. So next question, write down, what is the importance of conservation of resources? Is it clear? What is the importance of conservation of resources? Discuss it. So you have to write down what is the need of conservation actually. Okay, so what is the importance of conservation, or what is the need of conservation of the natural resources, and you have to write down in a very elaborate way. Okay, that means you have to briefly, you have to discuss, you have to elaborate it. Is it clear? So next question, just write down all of you. Okay, so again the same question, it has been given in your book. No need to repeat the same, as already I gave you I have given you the importance of the resource conservation. And next you can write down, what do you mean by a short type of question, what do you mean by animal husbandry, you can write down. And what do you mean by transhumance? Okay, what is lumbering? These are some kind of very short type of question. And okay, next you just write down what is jhum cultivation or shifting cultivation. Okay, and you see this jhum cultivation or shifting cultivation, these will be included in your agriculture chapter, but as this chapter is primarily related to the economic activities or the occupations of the humankind, so you see the the focus is what primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary and quinary, isn't it? So but in this primary occupations, when the question will come, suppose what do you mean by primary occupations, how can you classify the primary occupations, at that answer you have to mention this animal husbandry, which will come directly under this agriculture, again suppose lumbering, fishing, gathering of fruits, etc, etc. Is it clear? But these are quite related with the agriculture purpose. Yes. So next question, write down what do you mean by resources and classify the resources. Okay, what do you mean by the term resources? Classify the resources. Is it clear? So you have to write down the classification of resources. Is it clear now? Okay, so I have already given you in our visual class that the classification of resources, I have drawn a flow chart where I have given you on the basis of the natures, basis of the ownership, basis of distributions, isn't it? So this basis of durability, this can be classified into some further most this classifications. Okay, so you just all of you draw that flow chart while writing the answers. All of you that draw that flow chart, suppose what do you mean by resources, you have to write the definition. After that, when you will write the classification of resources, at that point you just make it a flow chart, then it will be much more appropriate to that particular question, isn't it? So and if you have not understood any of the question or any of the answer writing pattern, then you can just ask me in my WhatsApp. And and again I'm telling you that this is quite a discussion session, and furthermore I will give you some of the very important questions in our PDF format also. Is it clear? So this much I think is quite enough, and these are quite some of the very important questions from this chapter, economic activities. And you see, this economic activities or occupation chapter is very important, as the main concern is has been provided in this the definition of what this occupation or economic activities. Initially you have to know the what do you understand this by this occupation or economic activities or the process of economic activities. Is it clear now? So in what ways we used to do economic activities? Is it clear? So this is not a very large, very long chapter. This chapter is quite very small, and we have already covered up the important questions which may come in your exams. And okay, then in our next session I will give you some of the questions from the agriculture chapter. But you see this in your exams now only the 5 chapters will come. Okay, not the 5 chapters, that means unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3 will come. Okay, up to that economic activities and occupation. Is it clear? So okay, so this much is quite enough for this question answer discussion session of the economic part, economic activities or the unit 3 part. And hope you will all you are quite writing all the questions, and as soon as possible you just send it to me in our groups. You can send it to me, and just you just don't just don't delay while writing the answers. Okay, as much as you will write the answers, it will be much more it will gain in your practice. Okay, so how so this will quite help in your while writing the answers in your exams. Is it clear? So okay, so this much is quite enough for this session, and next session I will give you the questions from that agriculture chapter. Is it clear? Okay, thank you.